I tried to go upstairs because there's a lot going on in my house right now, but didn't work out upstairs with the internet, so I'm back downstairs. So excuse if there's any background noise. I'm going to share my screen, and basically today I'm just going to go over the basic strategy from the beginning, and we're going to start with a naked chart, and we are going to just start from the naked chart, and I'm going to go through with everybody, set up everybody's indicators, and then we can go over the strategy and do some back testing, okay? All right. Hi. Alrighty, so basically, hold on, I'm gonna get a brand new chart layout. 1 second. Sorry, that's my son. He's about to go down for a nap. This was supposed to be planned out a little bit better, but so he should be in bed by now, but that didn't happen yet. So now we're on Onanda. That's the broker we're going to use. NAS 100, that's the one that I'm going to use for the example. Okay, so everybody go to your trading view. Please open a NAS 100 chart on Onanda broker on a blank chart, please. And then we will go ahead and set up your indicators. If you're new, if this is your first time, I wanted to go over this because the past couple of classes, we haven't really started from the beginning and gone through all of the indicator settings and everything like that. So we are going to, everybody has their trading view. If you're new to trading view and you haven't had much experience messing around with it, I'll go basic and slow so you can know exactly what we're doing. So go up here, we have two toolbars. We have one right here on the left, and then we have another toolbar up at the top. The toolbar that's up at the top, there's one symbol that has a little F. You are going to click, it has like a cursive F and an X next to it. You're going to click on the F and you are going to search in the search box. I have them favorited, but just so I can show you exactly how to look for the specific symbol, or I mean the specific indicator. We are going to search for Bollinger Bands, and it's the regular Bollinger Band strategy. And excuse me, I might need to grab some water in a second because my voice is going out. So we are just going, oh, this is the wrong one. Good thing I did that, okay. Okay, so it's gonna be the third one down and there's nothing next to it. It's just Bollinger Bands, the basic Bollinger Bands one. So everybody please add that to their chart. And if we go to the settings should be, the standard deviation should be set to 2, the offset should be set to 0, the length should be set to 20, and the indicator on the time frame should be same as the chart. Everybody please take notes and be writing this down. If you're not putting in this directly into your trading view, please take notes and make sure you're screenshotting if you're not in front of like a notepad and paper or writing it down on your computer. Make sure you're screenshotting these settings so you know that you have the right settings on your Bollinger Bands, on your chart. Okay, so now that, does anybody need to see that again? Did everybody get that so far? Please let me know. Drop a 777 if you have received all of the indicator settings for the Bollinger Band. Do it again, okay. Okay, so once again, we have the length is set to 20. The source is set to close. The standard deviation is set to 2, and the offset is set to 0. Okay. And you can just keep the style however you want. You can, if you like your charts a specific color, you can change up the cover colors for the upper Bollinger Band, the lower Bollinger Band, the middle Bollinger Band. I just keep mine on the basic one. Precision is on default. Please screenshot both of these. Drop a 777 once you've gotten this done. So everybody can. So if you guys just joined, basically I'm just showing everybody from the very beginning how to set up your indicators for scalping settings for my strategy scalping settings. Okay, so we're setting up the first indicator, which is the Bollinger Bands. I am just showing everybody the settings. We have them right here. Please screenshot them. I already went over them 2 times, so this is the last time I'm going to show them. Please screenshot this. Make sure you guys have the correct settings. It is just the standard setting, but the reason why I'm going over it is just so in case somebody accidentally changed their setting, they know what setting it's supposed to be on. Okay, sorry, that's my son in the background. Okay, so I only have 1777, so let me know when you guys got this. We have 29 people on the call, so we should get more 77s before I move on. Okay, perfect. Awesome. Beautiful. Okay. Awesome. Sounds good. So now we are going to go to the indicator settings one more time. Good night, Logan. Thanks. Good night. I love you. Okay. He's going to bed. Thank goodness. Makes me so much less stressed. Okay, so now we are going to go back to the indicator settings. Clicking this little cursive X again in the top left corner in the top toolbar of TradingView, and we are going to search Stochastic Oscillator, okay? And this one is just going to be the basic stochastic, the basic first one that you see, okay? Go ahead and add both of those to your settings, and I will go ahead and show you my settings on those, and they're just also the standard stochastic oscillator settings that are given on TradingView when you do this. So you don't need to change anything is what I'm saying. I'm giving you these settings so you make sure on yours that you have them matching. Okay, so we have the indicator on the time frame is the same as the chart. The K is 14, the D is 3, and the smooth setting is 3 as well. The style, these are the style, this is the style. I haven't changed anything on the style. So just make sure you guys have this all. Drop a 77 once we have it. It's pretty straightforward. Let me know once you guys have this. Awesome, perfect. Beautiful. All right, so I kind of just hopped in here, but I first of all just wanted to like say hi. I was kind of like having anxiety at first because everybody was down here, but now everyone's cleared out. So just want to say hi to everyone. Happy Saturday. I know it's Saturday night for you, those of you guys who are in UK and all around the world. How many of you guys made money this week? Have you guys hopped on the sessions this week? I want to know who on this session today have hopped on some of the sessions this week. Is anyone? You are on one. Awesome. Cool. Perfect. Okay, so you guys have been able to see me do this, use this scalping strategy firsthand. First time with you, Brenna. Plan on getting on this week. Nice. Some people have made money with me. Nice. We have been doing really, really well. We have barely lost, you guys. There's been like very small losses on the sessions so far. So everybody should have made money who have hopped on the sessions. The patience thing is key. Sometimes the market isn't moving and doesn't have momentum or volume at the time when we're on the session. So sometimes we have to wait for TPs to hit until after the session. So we need to make sure we're staying in the trade and sticking with our analysis and not closing out of the trade early, making sure that we are protecting our profits, you know, moving our stop losses into profit once we are at least like 10 pips in profit, and so forth. All right, awesome, perfect. So I just wanted to get these settings out to everybody, and then I want to just kind of go over how we use these when we're trading. And we can back test a little. Oh no. Chaos in the house. Okay. So basically, you guys, we're going to do some back testing. We're going to test the strategy. We're going to look to see what happens in the market when certain things are happening with structure and in zones, and when what is happening when price is hitting certain environments, like an overbought environment or an oversold environment. Or when price is hitting, touching Bollinger Bands, okay? So basically how we use the stochastic oscillator, I'm gonna start with the stochastic oscillator with the overbought and oversold method just because this is a very good way to find sniper entries in the market, and a really good way to find those really nice longer scalps that are not so much just like within a zone, but more so like a nice, you know, 20 to 40 pips, which is, or I mean, sorry, 20 to 40 points, because we trade indices with scalping with Brenna. And that is equal to 200 to 400 pips, okay? Sometimes we do 10 pips, sometimes we even do 5 pips, but that's still, 10 points and 5 points, but that's still 50 pips and 100 pips, which is still a killer trade. So basically, I'm sorry, my son is crying upstairs. It's hard for me not to be distracted by that. So basically, you guys want to look on the left side right here of your, hold on, I'm going to change this, stretch this out a little bit. And just so you guys know, you can change this and stretch it out so you can see like a different setting. I like to keep mine on the 80 where I can see my line hitting the 80 mark and the 20 mark. And the reason that is because I want to see when price is clearly overbought, which means when price is over this 80 line right here, that means that that price is in overbought conditions. When price is in this, below this 20 line right here, that means that we are in oversold conditions, okay? When we're in overbought conditions, can anybody tell me what we're looking for? What are we looking for when we are in overbought conditions? Let's look at this area right here. This is a really good example, obviously. We have really sideways market. So maybe let me go to something a little more, like a little less sideways. Okay. All right, so we are going to look right in this area right here where we started getting, we were in a consolidation, right here. But what was happening on the stochastic oscillator? We were very overbought at this time in price in this zone right here. We're looking at this zone, and then this is what's happening on the stochastic oscillator during this time when this zone was happening. what we saw here was overbought price, right? When we see price very overbought like this and playing around in this area, we know that that's a great indication that price is going to what? Let me look at the chat. Yes, look for a sell. We're looking for sells in an overbought market. So we see, oh, sorry, that's not what I meant to do. Just trying to make these candles bigger so we can see a little better. Okay, so if we entered, this wouldn't have been a good entry right here. This is kind of where price can trick you. So we're pretty overbought, and this is where we need to watch. We would have been able to catch some pips if we use the Bollinger Band rules, which I'll talk about in a second. We would have been able to take profit down to this Bollinger right here. The only thing about this is what we noticed in the stochastic oscillator is that price did not continue down and continue down to go back into oversold zone. We stayed in the middle. So we stayed, when price is in the middle, we know price is kind of going sideways. That's just an indication that we probably are going to continue to stay in overbought conditions. We're not ready to get out of our overbought conditions yet. So this is an indicator to let us know that price is probably going to continue to go up and stay in overbought conditions to give us a better entry for this sell. All right. Does that make sense to everybody? Drop a 777 if that makes sense to everyone. If this middle area on the stochastic makes sense, we're not leaving an overbought area because price is coming back up. Does that make sense? Okay, sounds good. So what happened when price went back up? Price here went back up all the way into very overbought conditions, even more overbought conditions than were before. So this gave us an even better entry for our sell. When we are trading overbought and oversold conditions, we want to make sure we are not entering when we just see price above that line. We want to make sure we're entering once price is coming off of being overbought. So once price starts curving over and coming down into normal conditions, normal market conditions, that's when you want to be entering into your trade. If you enter up here, if you enter before price starts curving over, you're going to get kind of stuck and whiplashed around within the trade. Drop a 777 if that makes sense to everyone. We're entering the trade once price is coming out of overbought conditions. Amazing. Awesome. So what would have happened if we also, I mean, you guys, I will talk about this in a second with Bollinger Bands, but this works with our Bollinger Bands rules too. Basically, we get a rejection on the inside of the Bollinger Band, and that is our perfect entry. That lines up. Look how perfectly, if you guys see the line, it like, you know, this cross that drags along with my cursor. You'll see that this entry right here that we just talked about. Oops, hold on, I'm gonna delete that. That was bad. Let me use my highlighter. This entry right here lines up perfectly with our ideal entry on the Bollinger Band as well, okay? So that just goes to show that these two indicators work really well together, and they really do go hand in hand, and they kind of play off of each other when you're trading. So we entered here. Let's see how many pips this is, just to see, like say we entered into this trade. All right. When we enter, we want to exit once price is rejecting off of the Bollinger. So we may exit and close out a TP right here. But because price is broken out of the Bollinger Band, we know, I mean, those of us who have been on the class before, I'll talk about Bollinger Bands in a second, we know with Bollinger Bands that price is probably going to continue down once it's broken out of a Bollinger Band. So on the stochastic, we see that price continued as price broke out of this Bollinger. On the stochastic, price continued down and out and over into oversold conditions. When price is rejecting the Bollinger Band, what do? We exit the trade. Okay, so, So we take the trade down to once the Bollinger Band is being rejected. So some would take profit right here. If some are used to working with Bollinger Bands and trust that this is a retest from this break right here, then they would trust and take it down to this next level until we have a bullish flat bottom or bullish candles with bullish wicks at the bottom rejecting on the inside of the Bollinger Band. Does that make sense to everybody? And another, that's how we'll know on the Bollinger Band. How we'll know on the stochastic is because what? We got into oversold conditions. And look at this, when the first time we got into oversold conditions, what happened? We touched this first TP that we would have taken, right? And what happened when we're still staying down in oversold conditions? It's because price continued down, exactly what I explained on the upside part of things. So the same thing happens on the downside. How do you set your TPs when the bands aren't there? When the bands aren't there, I set my TPs with my support and resistance that I've made from the higher time frames down to the lower time frames based on my rejection zones that I've marked out on the daily time frames and such. But we're just talking about these indicators right now, and that's like a whole other subject. I don't want to confuse anyone. But the basic way to take profits, okay, so does everybody drop a 7-7 if we've gone over enough of stochastics and we can move on to Bollinger Bands? Have we gone over enough? Drop a 7-7 if you guys understand stochastic. Okay, I'll repeat the entire rule. The rule is that, everybody write this down, please, take notes. The rule is that when price is over the 80, this 80 mark right here, when price is, that means that price is overbought and we're looking for a sell once price starts to come out of overbought conditions. And the next rule is when price is under, hold on, I moved this, it looks. When price, where's my 20? I lost it. There it is. When price is below the 20, then that means we're looking for, that the market is in oversold conditions on whatever time frame you're on. It changes throughout each time frame, so it depends on which time frame you're on. You can be in oversold conditions on one time frame and overbought conditions on another time frame. I know this sounds crazy, but we'll talk about that later. Okay, we just need to know the basics, okay? Let me know if you understand. When we're over 80, we are overbought and we're looking for sells. When we're under 20, we're oversold and we're looking for buys, okay? 777, yes, perfect, okay. All right, I feel like I keep repeating myself. But I'm pretty sure we all have that by now. Okay. Here, you know what I'm gonna do? And then everybody, I'll like, I'll do this. Okay. All right. Okay, so we have our, here, I'll even type out like, Let's see what fun stuff I can do. All right, I'm not that fun. I'm just gonna do what I know. Oh, that didn't work really. Okay, so we're looking for buys. Bear with me, you guys. Sorry, I'm just being slow trading view over here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so you guys get it. Now we're moving on to Bollinger Bands. Bollinger Bands. Who likes Bollinger Bands? I do. I love Bollinger Bands. Okay, so let's stick with the same area. Oh, you guys are correcting me. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm so silly. Thank you. Thank you. I got it. I got it. Thank you so much for correcting me. Okay, so we're moving on to Bollinger Bands. I'm going to delete this because, all right. So I'm also going to make this a little smaller so we can focus in here. All right, so we're looking at the same area, right? Let's look at the same area. Basically, how Bollinger Bands works, a basic description of Bollinger Bands is we have the top Bollinger Band and the bottom Bollinger Band, and then we have our middle Bollinger Band. Our middle Bollinger Band is like our equilibrium of our market, of our moving pair, whatever we're trading. It keeps price, buyers and sellers, it kind of keeps everyone centered, okay? So the top Bollinger is going to be like your resistance, and the bottom Bollinger is going to be like your support, okay? The top Bollinger holds price in and kind of like, it's kind of like a force field. It's like price for some reason doesn't break, like the Bollinger Band moves with price, but the Bollinger, you always know the price is going to stay, like keep contracting back within the Bollinger Band, if that makes sense. Drop a 777 if that makes sense to everyone. Force field. The Bollinger Band is force field. Awesome. Okay. Perfect. Awesome. All right. So when we see, if you want, so let me give this area as an example, because this is like silly, but you can do this. It's like so silly, but basically think of each band as a T